Microsoft has backed down and The Outer Worlds 2 is no longer going to be $80, but instead the industry standard of $70. And it does make me wonder if they priced it at 80, backed down and did 70, and now they're issuing refunds. What I wonder has happened is the pre-orders on this game must have been abysmal. And it does make you wonder, with the business model of Game Pass that I know a lot of people enjoy, Microsoft doesn't seem to be planning a console anytime soon. Are video games for Microsoft currently something that is bleeding the company dry? And there is actually a lot to talk about here, because recently the Nintendo Switch 2 came out with Mario Kart World and the new Donkey Kong game, both being sold at $80. And it does make you wonder, is this going to be an industry standard? And are prices like that worth it? So for example, I just purchased the new Wuchang Fallen Feathers game, and I'm pretty sure I just bought that for $50, which is significantly less than 80 or even 70. In fact, it's $10 lower than the previous industry standard. And so far, it seems like a quality game. I personally do not understand why these companies are constantly pushing for a higher industry standard. And I did some reading up, and I was very, very intrigued by what I read. Now, I'm still saying the argument that games should not get more expensive is 100% valid here. But I did some reading up, and the Super Mario Kart from the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in 1992 costed about $55 in 1993. And then adjusted for inflation, that is $121 right now. So of course, games are actually not that much more expensive, even when you consider that the SNES launched at $200 USD in 1991, and again, inflation adjusted, that would be $460 right now, which is about what the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 is. The tricky thing about this math and doing inflation adjusted is that for most people, incomes have not increased to outpace and match inflation. Microsoft concedes that the Outer Worlds 2 retail price was too high. Xbox says it will keep our full price holiday releases at $69.99 with refunds incoming. Xbox controversially raised the base price of its mainline games to $80 in an announcement a few weeks ago. Now it seems to be backtracking. A few weeks ago, Microsoft announced that the base price of its Xbox games at retail would hit frankly staggering $80, underpinning what has been an incredibly tough year for consumers and businesses alike with regards to spiraling costs. Whether it's supply chains being impacted by arbitrary trade wars or sticky inflation from COVID quantitative easing, the market has been relatively unstable for the past few years for a variety of reasons. In response, various businesses have put up their prices to varying degrees. Microsoft and Sony both raised the price of their Xbox and PlayStation hardware bundles over the past couple of years, and for a short while it looked like the industry was poised to raise the base price of their mainline games to $80. It started with Nintendo's Mario Kart World hitting $79.99 at retail, and then back and forth over whether Borderlands 4 would hit $79. It ended up being $69. Then Microsoft announced it would also be targeting $79 for upcoming Xbox games, starting with FPS Space Odyssey, The Outer Worlds 2, until today. Announced across Xbox social channels, Microsoft and Obsidian revealed that The Outer Worlds 2 will no longer be $80, returning to the current industry standard of $70. We're focused on bringing players incredible worlds to explore, and will keep our full price holiday releases, including The Outer Worlds 2, at $69, in line with current market conditions. An Xbox spokesperson explained in a statement to Windows Central, if you've already pre-ordered the game at the $80 price point, you will have to grab refunds at the point of purchase if you've already paid up. Microsoft says some retailers will light up with refunds today, but some will start accepting refunds from tomorrow. Then you can pre-order again at the new $70 price tier. As good as The Outer Worlds 2 looks, I think $80 would have been a tough pill to swallow. It wouldn't be a stretch to think $80 price tag was an attempt to push people over to Xbox Game Pass, which would have been represented as significant savings for those who wanted to play Obsidian's new sci-fi epic. It's a rare win for consumers in a world where everything seems to get perpetually more expensive with no sign of stopping. So I don't know about most people, but right now I am actually very happy with purchasing a game for $50 or less. And I get it. For Nintendo games, you know what to expect. You know that you're expecting a certain level of quality. So if people want to spend $80, go ahead and be my guest. But yeah, there is definitely a lot more here to talk about than what lies on the surface, because within the past 30 days, Microsoft itself has just laid off around 9,000 workers with a huge $80 billion investment in artificial intelligence conference that was announced by Microsoft. So with all these things in mind, I think it's a great win that The Outer Worlds 2 is now not going to be priced at $80, but instead $70. But it does beg the question, is Microsoft going to release a new console? Is the business model of Game Pass even financially feasible for the company? And are they just going to continue killing games, shutting down Xbox Studio after Xbox Studio? Anyways, that's all I have to say. I just think it is absolutely absurd that a video game was about to be priced at $80. I think it's already enough to be asking for $70. The most recent $70 entries were Death Stranding 2, Mario Kart World, and Donkey Kong Bonanza, and I haven't heard many complaints about those games. As far as I'm concerned, a $10 increase at $70 versus $60, it seems like the quality has been delivered there. But the real test will be when the next Call of Duty comes out. Are the people who play those games actually going to spend $80? That would be absurd. Anyways, it's a big win for video games. Let's keep it at $70. Let's keep it beneath that. It was so nice to buy that recent Souls-like game for $50.